Hey, it's Erin. It's about time to start shredding for summer. When you think of leaning down, what activities come to mind? Many of us think about logging in hours on the treadmill, elliptical, or stair climber. Well, there are better ways, 5 of them actually, and I want to share them with you today. The first strategy is to lift heavy. I'm not talking about for the entire workout, just for the first few exercises. Choose big movements that you can go heavy on, and by heavy, I mean the last 2 to 3 reps should be challenging, but doable with proper form. So for example, if you're training chest, maybe start with a heavy bench press or a heavy incline bench. If you're training legs, starting with a heavy deadlift or deadlift variation or squat is awesome. If you're trying to build your glutes, then you can start with something like glute bridges, and this allows you to load up on the weights. Now, try to think about just doing straight sets for your first or second exercise. This will give you the recovery time that will allow you to continue to lift as heavy as you possibly can. Now, there's a school of thought that higher reps and lower weight is very important when you're leaning down. And I want to challenge this theory because the idea of doing a ton of reps really makes you more of an endurance type athlete. So if you look at an endurance runner, someone who competes in distance, and they don't have the nice, round, full muscles that sprinters or basketball players have who need those bursts of energy. So it's very, very important to continue to train as heavy as possible because this is going to allow you to gain muscle or maintain muscle, which will keep your metabolism high. And then think about if you're doing high reps and low weights, this type of exercise has a tendency of elevating your cortisol levels or your stress hormone. So you want to either avoid doing that or mix it in with lifting heavy. The second strategy is to choose compound movements over isolation movements. Now, by compound movement, I mean 2 or more joints are moving in an exercise. So a compound movement would be something like a shoulder press. So you're moving at the shoulder and at the elbow, or like an upright row, same thing, shoulders and elbows, versus an isolation movement where only one joint is moving. So you think about like a biceps curl or a leg extension. So for example, if you have something like a dedicated arm day, which a lot of us have, think about taking and swapping out some of these exercises. So for example, instead of doing your biceps curls and doing all kinds of variations of curls, try swapping it with an inverted row. So your palms are going to be facing in, you're going to be focusing on the biceps, but you'll also recruit your back. So you're burning more calories because more muscle groups are involved. So same thing with the triceps. Consider, instead of doing triceps extensions, tossing in a close grip push-up. So your hands are close together, elbows are close to your body. You're training a little bit of chest, but you're also training those triceps. And again, greater calorie burn. Muscles that train together tend to flow better aesthetically, but we're looking at the calorie burn too, which is so important because in that same amount of time, you're going to burn a ton more calories just by using those compound movements. The third strategy is to combine movements. So for example, if you've been doing a ton of straight sets, that's doing one exercise, taking a break, then doing another exercise or another set of the exercise, consider supersets or compound sets. Now, a superset is also known as an antagonist muscle group worker. So basically what you're thinking about doing is training opposing muscle groups. So if I'm going to train chest, I'll train back on the second part. Now with the supersets, it's my preferred method. If I'm going from straight sets to more activity, I'm going to choose supersets. And that's simply because you're training your opposing muscle groups. One muscle group is working, the other one is, I wouldn't say enjoying, but you have an active rest on the other muscle group, but that heart keeps pumping. An example of a superset would be your dumbbell front squat to a dumbbell RDL. You just have one set of dumbbells. You're going to crank out your front squat, which is your push, and then you'll drop the weights down and perform your RDLs, which is the pull. Your compound set is awesome for adding volume to your workout. This is where you're going to work either the same muscle group or the same type of movement. So you might do 2 push exercises, or you might do 2 back exercises. So a great example of a compound set is a dumbbell row combined with a pullover. So you're at the same piece of equipment, you've got the bench, 1 dumbbell, super, super easy. If you're already doing supersets and compound sets, consider stepping it up a notch. Your trisets, giant sets, and circuits are a great way to continue breaking through any kind of plateau and making progress. When I think about a triset or a giant set, this is 3 exercises in a row, so you're performing them back to back to back. Moving upwards, you're going to a circuit, that's 4 exercises, 5 exercises. For the purpose of this video, I think 3 exercises is probably enough. And for this, I like to stick to either the same piece of equipment or something I can readily go from one to the next on. And a great example of a triset or a giant set would be a goblet squat, followed by a cable squat, followed by a cable RDL. Now everything is performed on the same cable, you're using the same handle, and you're able to perform them back to back to back, and that gets the heart rate pumping, and it saves you a ton of time. Now the benefits of this include increased volume over the workout. So in the time it would take you to do the same workout, you're almost doubling your volume, which means greater calorie burn, much less time, and you can rev your metabolism for hours after you finished your workout. The 4th strategy is to add cardio in between your sets. Now, thinking about cardio, this is a sneaky way to fit in way more activity, to also break through any kind of plateaus, because it's probably different than what you're doing now. So by cardio, I mean adding jump rope, adding abs, adding jumps, maybe boxing, hitting the heavy bag, that type of thing. Now my favorite way to incorporate this cardio would be performing a superset and then going straight to jump rope. So for example, I'd have a couple of dumbbells on an incline bench. I'd perform my incline bench press, flip over, do my supine rows, and then I would immediately walk over, grab the jump rope, do 30 seconds of jumping rope as hard as I possibly can, and then rest for about 45 seconds and repeat the whole thing all over again. If you don't like jumping rope, or you don't have a jump rope, or don't have enough space, you can also add in your abs. So for example, I'm going to do an upright row followed by a front raise with the easy bar, and then I'm just gonna whip around on the bench and do 30 V-ups. So pretty easy. You can also incorporate your planks, your Russian twists, flutter kicks, any kind of abs exercises go really, really great in between compound sets and supersets. So with the abs, I wouldn't give as much recovery in between your sets and supersets, maybe 30 seconds afterwards, and then go right back into lifting weights. The benefits of this include sneaking your cardio in. You're basically getting a weight workout and still getting about 45 minutes of cardio, and the results are amazing and much, much faster than if you were to do just cardio alone. The last strategy is strategic cardio. Now, I'm not talking about doing a ton of steady state cardio. I'm talking about splitting up your sessions if possible. Now, this can be as easy as waking up and jumping rope, doing burpees, doing a Tabata at home first thing in the morning, and then 7 or 8 hours later, lifting weights. Now, I know a lot of us are super busy, don't have time to split up the sessions, but if you do, when you wake up and you either get your weight workout in or your cardio, you are spiking your metabolism. Your metabolism stays high and then it starts to dip a little bit. And then by the time you're ready to do your second workout, your metabolism is spiked again after your second workout. So your overall calorie burn is much, much higher. Now let's say you can only fit it into one session. Consider adding 1 to 2 HIIT sessions per week. Now the HIIT is best performed after upper body training, and you're gonna go for about 15 to 20 minutes after upper body. Make sure you get your good cool down afterwards. And check out the channel. I've got great examples of HIIT and Tabatas, so you can add a few minutes of activity and it's going to make really, really great results. Now, if you must add steady state cardio, if there's no way that you want to do HIIT or that you can do HIIT, consider adding 20 minutes of steady state after your upper body training. Now, steady state can be a really great tool. Let's say you want to lean down in a few weeks. It's okay to add that steady state cardio for a few weeks. It's, like I said, just a tool and can be used temporarily, but keep in mind, the longer you do steady state, the more you have to do just to achieve the same results. That's why we incorporate HIIT, we do the jump rope, the supersets, the circuits, and we lift heavy. All of these things keep the body guessing. And when you keep the body guessing, you're constantly switching things up. There's a lot less chance for plateau and a lot less chance of you having to add all this stuff in and find yourself doing 2 hours of activity at the gym just to see the same results. So hopefully that helped. If you try any of these strategies, please tag me. I love seeing your progress. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and don't forget to click that little bell. You'll be the first to know whenever a new video comes out. Thanks for watching. Until next time, train smart, y'all.